Welcome to Friday Night Party Line. Tonight on the show, we've got Scojo. Hey, Scojo.
Yo!
How you doing, man?
I'm surviving. I'm on a horrific diet.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. What diet is it that is so horrific?
I'm doing this diet called MetaFast. It's expensive and it's very few calories, and it works. It's the only diet I can really stick to because it's so strict, and you get results, but it sucks.
Wow. Huh. Okay. Well, what is it like? What is it like? What do you have to cut out?
I pretty much have to cut everything out. I eat 5 of their like little stupid bars and like shake things. And then I have a lean, and then I have one lean and green meal, which is pretty much a lean meat and like 3 servings of vegetables, and that's it for the day, and a lot of water. And while I'm supposed to eliminate caffeine, I don't completely do that because otherwise I fall asleep at like 9 o'clock.
You need to be a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
And caffeine
right.
Helps you do that.
But it's pretty good. I in the past when I've done it, I've lost like 20 pounds in like 2 months.
Oh,
you know?
Wow.
Pretty good.
That's dramatic. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jay Bance in the chat says that sounds fuck awful.
Oh, it's like under 80 carbs or something, grams of carbs.
Good
Christ. Shit, man.
It's brutal.
Fuck. Why?
No way, Jose. Not for me.
That's what happens when you gain like 50 pounds. You want to lose it.
Yeah, no. I've been slowly losing weight at a much slower rate, but since February I've lost almost 20 pounds, which is fine by me. Just, slowly making my way back down to 200. Getting there. I'm at 226 right now. And let's see. Churba's on the show too. Hey, Churbs.
Hi. I'm actually having the opposite problem.
You need to gain weight?
You need to gain weight?
Yeah, I actually do.
Really?
What?
I am below my ideal, fighting weight, basically, yeah.
Well, unless you've been told to gain weight, you probably don't need to gain weight.
Well, I don't really need to, but I want to.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hate you and my coworker that my new coworker at work's like, I need to gain weight. I'm like, fuck you.
Well, normally I hover somewhere around 92 to 95 kilos, and at the moment I'm down to like 87.
Oh, Jesus.
And that is
man.
technically underweight for my height, but not medically dangerous.
Yeah,
How many kilos again? I need to get an understanding of this.
92 to 95 for my ideal weight, and at the moment I'm about 87.
87 kg to lbs. That is.
I knew that's what he was doing.
He's 190. You're 190 pounds.
Ah, whatever. That's fine.
I know.
No, that's what you're supposed to weigh. What?
No, that is underweight for my height.
Wait,
apparently.
how tall are you?
6'4".
Don't forget, Scojo.
6'4".
Yeah, he's a tall man.
I keep forgetting you're tall.
Yeah, you always see me sitting down. I am a giant.
Yeah, Scojo, you and I are about the same height. We're both like about what, 5'10"?
No, I'm 6 foot.
Oh, okay. So you're not that much shorter than he is.
But 4 inches is a lot.
Okay, dude.
That's what she said.
Believe me, no, it isn't.
Okay. So
She was just trying
we
to
got
save
a lot
your
of stuff to
feelings,
talk
mate.
about today, but we keep on. Before the show, we were like constantly verging into having really good discussions, and I kind of want to bring it back to what we were talking about right before the show started, which was one of the editors of Vox was canned for sexual harassment, which ties in quite nicely to a broader movement in Hollywood at large. Hollywood and media at large, with the big name being Harvey Weinstein being shit canned from the Weinstein Company.
That was awful timing because you started talking about sexual assault and I started laughing right when you said it because I'm scrolling because I'm scrolling through Twitter and I came across a copy of Hot Press magazine, which has the guy from The Killers holding a shell up to his head, like this big conch shell looking motherfucker.
He holds the conch.
And the person on Twitter has just put the caption, "Now she's falling asleep and I'm calling a crab."
So, but yes, Harvey Weinstein, American film producer, has been very succinctly taken down by multiple very well-researched editorial pieces. And the question of going on Hollywood, you know, isn't why hasn't this happened? Why hasn't this been brought to the attention already by now? Because it's been going on for a very long time. But the question is, what has happened that this now can be brought to the forefront? Which, if you don't know who Harvey Weinstein is, he is a really big deal. He's produced so many movies, including Kill Bill, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, let's see, Shakespeare in Love. That was a big one that he made. And just like a ton of other huge movies. So is the media industry finally moving towards getting this shit sorted out?
Maybe? I mean, like, notorious shitrag fucking Vice also recently fired, I believe, 2 different people now for sexual misconduct. Including one of the people who actually supposedly made their statement about the fact that they used to work with a photographer who was an actual rapist. Oof. And they knew about it and kept hiring him.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think as these companies, like, as most of the companies become more corporatized and they become full of like regulations, instead of being like one really charismatic dude who like comes in like a Weinstein and is like, you know, the golden child of the company, has like tons of power. As soon as those people are kind of pushed aside and a company kind of just becomes an organization full of people trying to do a job, I feel like it moves away from some of the problems that some of these people have. Because usually you have an HR department that actually like will be somewhat responsive. Yeah. And like you don't have as much institutionalized sexual harassment, like in the case of Weinstein, where like his assistants would be like, yeah, we're gonna have a meeting in a bedroom. Like no one's going to, like, I couldn't do that at my company and be like, oh God, by the way, our board meeting, by the way, is gonna be me and you in this bedroom for an interview. Like, we're going to interview the new hire at the Hilton. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ballroom?
On more than one occasion, I've interviewed professional sex workers, like, at their place of work. And even then, we don't do the interviews in a bedroom. We do it in the madam's office.
Yeah.
If even a brothel can get this right, then what the fuck is wrong with you?
There seems to be just a lot of clearing house, which to me, I feel like it's a couple years too late, considering Bill Cosby got off scot fucking free.
Yeah, well, did he?
Yeah.
Isn't his trial still going on?
His trial's over.
Yeah.
No, I'm reasonably sure he got off scot-free.
Now we're all looking it up on Google right now.
Bet we are. Let's see. Okay, September 15th, Deadline News, Deadline Hollywood.
Well, I did find out that 25 colleges and universities have rescinded his honorary degrees.
That's good. Apparently he had a mistrial, and he's getting a retrial in April.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there was something along that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, like Bill Cosby was detected a little, late to, I think, to be effectively tried for this. I mean, at least his reputation will now have been destroyed.
I can hope.
Yeah, I mean, just.
Because Courtney Love warned, very publicly warned actresses and stuff about Harvey Weinstein back in 2005.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just...
Fucking Carrie Fisher was sending cow's tongues to producers fucking back in the day as well, and she used to warn people about Harvey Weinstein as well, in no uncertain terms, because I really can't imagine Carrie Fisher using any uncertain terms.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher was kind of great.
Well, I hope they continue to find the people that were sexually harassing people, and we can get past this, and Hollywood starts reforming its practices to be a little less skeevy.
Yeah, Hollywood and the media, we both need to sort their shit out.
Speaking of, what was the other thing we were talking about that I put the kibosh on until the show started? Can't remember. Can't remember. All right, well.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of people who are shitty in the media.
Yes. What did we do now, Churba?
Just to keep us on that topic. Well, we didn't get caught for fucking mocking rape victims and being sexist and everything else.
Yep.
3 times in about as many weeks. Yes, it seems like probably the safest way, or the best way to keep yourself safe in the podcast space is to keep away from leftist podcasts.
Good Christ.
Wait, what was this?
Leftist podcasts.
Chapo Trap House and Cumtown have been caught being fucking awful misogynists, basically 3 times in as many weeks.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, the latest one is the Cumtown host who actually did it, and then the Chapo guys just backing him up. The last 2 were Chapo.
Yeah.
And here's the part that might interest you, Scojo. Someone who was one of the real bigwigs of the LADSA. Josh Androsky. He ended up not having to, sorry, that's not doing him enough credit. He ended up voluntarily resigning and going into fucking sensitivity training and shit.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I think I remember seeing something about that. I have not been able to read about anything but the Trump, accusing past presidents of not calling military families of slain military men. Yeah. So, everything that I've been reading has been on that topic for the last week before the meeting.
No kidding.
It's just been round and round with that, and just continually developing.
And plus, what the fuck happened over there? Jesus Christ!
Someone needs to take his phone away. He needs to take his phone away, and they need to make sure there's a teleprompter in front of him at all times.
Someone needs to fucking take his life away. Is what someone needs to do.
Whoa! You cannot say that.
Oh yeah, I can't threaten a sitting president of the United States while I'm on the show. It's on the whiteboard on the wall. I know.
Thank you. They should impeach him. They should take the presidency away. That's a legitimate thing to be able to say.
They should take his current lifestyle away.
There you go.
By putting him in fucking jail.
There you go. Exactly. Now that is a perfectly valid First Amendment statement. Not that First Amendment particularly applies to you, but it does cover our ass.
Yeah, but have you seen how the United States treats foreign nationals who are caught doing things like threatening the president?
Yeah, it's kind of a problem, but still.
Yeah, if I vanish into fucking Gitmo, I'll send you a postcard from Cuba.
Thanks.
Aren't you trying to come to the United States?
Cuba's not the United States.
No, I'm talking about you.
Well, I suppose technically yes, but I think a CIA black site that is only technically on American soil is not quite my aim.
That wasn't what I meant, though. But yeah.
Yeah, no. You might want to avoid the U.S. Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico, though.
Why would I do
the United
that?
States has sort of forgotten that those are part of the United States.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Man, I don't. I'm always like, oh man, I'd love to talk about these subjects, and then as soon as we start talking about these subjects, I'm like, oh, like give me a break. Like at this point, like what the fuck is going on?
Well, it's been a month, and 3 million Americans are without consistent electricity, water, or other utilities.
No, I mean like,
that's a good summary. What's
it's like
going on?
Everybody, Bush came out. George W. Bush.
There's some news. Bush came out.
Yeah, came out. Yeah, George W. Bush came out and gave like a criticism of Trump, apparently, without really talking about Trump. And people have been like, that's caused everybody on Twitter to be like, oh well, I kind of miss Bush, and then other people going like, dude, the guy like tortured and killed like tons of people. How can you even say that? And I'm just like, you know what I'm like? I'm like, he wasn't a Twitter troll. Like, that's a benefit here. Like every day, I don't wake up and say like, oh, during the Bush years, I didn't have to wake up every day and be like, who the fuck did he screw with today? Like, who did we almost get into a war with
every
because
day and
he
wonder...
just was on the toilet late at night tweeting? Like, what BS forward am I going to get spouted back at me from the President of the United States? This is like a nightmare.
You don't
At this point,
I
it's
just have to
nightmare.
wake up every day to you didn't have to wake up every day to President Bush taunting a potential nuclear power by calling them Rocket Man.
On one hand,
On the one hand,
I came up as a journalist like back when Bush was president. In fact, my first big political story was the election of Barack Obama. Fun fact for you. But I came up during that period, and so I'm intimately familiar with how awful George Bush was. Yeah, he was fucking awful. He tortured and killed thousands. Like, fucking, the amount of blood on this dude's hands is insane. His economic policies were fucking garbage. Like, for the most part. His social policies were fucking garbage. He is still better than Trump.
yeah. Because you know what? I think a big part of that is a sense of stability. And Trump
like mentally or nationally?
I think it's nationally.
¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both? It's like...
Well, I mean, like, think about this. People don't remember this, but after 9/11, when we decided to,
Wait, they said they'd never forget.
Where were you on
not that
9/11?
part,
You said you'd never forget.
But when we actually went into Afghanistan and Iraq, George W. Bush spent like a lot of time making sure that everybody knew that we were going into these countries not because of religious reasons. Like, there was a giant emphasis on that. And, like, he really, I mean, whether it was a right idea or wrong, at least he didn't try to, like, he made a decision and didn't try to just piss everybody off at the same time. Like, he knew how to handle something semi-seriously. Now, that can be dangerous because I didn't agree with him on most things. But at the same time, it wasn't like I felt like he was infuriating me and everyone else all at the same time to try to kill each other. But, it's just brutal. I mean, I don't remember feeling this way during the Bush years, and I really, really, really disliked George W. Bush. I just can't. I mean, it's just like every day. And then, like, it's like, dude, the guy gets up and says, oh, well, other presidents didn't call the grieving families. And then they're like, oh, no, actually they did.
No,
and he's like,
they all did.
Instead of being like, I'm sorry, I misspoke, or like saying, well, like just some BS, like sort of, excuse, he decides to like go like, well, tell John Kelly or John Kelly, whether he got a phone call like from a Barack Obama when his son died. It's like, fuck you! What the hell are you doing?
Also, we do kind of have an answer for that. The answer is he did.
He did.
Yeah, no, he called his wife. He called his son's wife, which is what you standardly do, and then 6 months later brought them to a dinner where they attended and sat next to Michelle Obama. It's like, but still, he didn't back down, and then he's just like a permanent escalation, and it's just unnerving to see that we're doing this, and he's not suffering like enough political damage for doing it. And
actually,
what that says about future politicians.
What's up?
There is one other point.
What's up?
Obama didn't call Kelly personally to inform him, because that's not his job. That's the Army's job. The Army called Kelly and notified him. Obama went out of his way to go and like have a chat to the guy.
Yeah, and I mean, presidents try not to. I mean, presidents have. It's actually kind of an interesting conversation on whether they should be calling the families, because like in situations when we're not at like big time war, you know, like World War II or something, where like thousands of people could be dying in a day, like they would be sitting there calling families all the time. And then what do you say to the families that don't get called because they don't have enough time? So it's generally only in situations where like small numbers of people die in like non-war situations that president even will.
Situations.
Yeah. And because they don't want that to occur. And it's like everything about the funny part is all before this last conversation that John Kelly just gave, where he defended Trump, was all about how John Kelly didn't want his son to be used as a political prop or to even be talked about in any special way compared to any other person who gave their life for the country. Mm-hmm. And Trump just used him as a political,
Yeah.
And the fact that he has to get up there then like defend Trump, I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on at this point.
John Kelly has the unenviable job at this point of attempting to be a stabilizing force within the Trump administration, and Trump is not making it easy on him, which is stupid. By all accounts, that is something he should be exactly making it easy for. But then I suppose then that if Trump was the type of person to do that, John Kelly wouldn't need to be there. So,
but he should quit. I would have quit. That would have been if from everything that we know about him, he should have quit at that moment. That should have been a bridge too far. But he didn't.
John Kelly, being a military man, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he is.
He's a general.
I'm like,
general?
Because I could be, I'm not really good with names, to be
honest.
It's okay.
I'm not good with names either, but yeah.
Yeah. So, John Kelly, being a military man, puts country first.
Well, allegedly.
Oh my god.
Shut
up.
The names, and you know this.
The fact that he has to get up there and give a speech where he defends Trump and he lies about a congresswoman, like, it's just crazy.
Oh, and accused one of the premier law enforcement agencies in the nation of treason.
Yes, there's that too.
Yeah.
All right, well, we could spend an entire hour talking about what Trump has done in the past 24. But let us move on, shall we? So we were talking a little bit about the media before.
Yes, let us move on to 2020.
Right. The Tokyo Olympics, you're looking forward to those too?
Actually, kind of am.
I am too.
I am.
I would really like to be there for that. But anywho,
I might just go because fuck you, why not? And then I probably won't even go to the Olympics.
You're right there.
Actually, a family friend of mine was an Olympian.
Really?
Yeah. I went
Was it your aunt?
No. She. I don't think they have Olympics for her kind of boxing.
There you go.
But no, it was a friend of the family. Was a swimmer, in fact, Melanie Schlanger.
Oh, very nice.
I went to her. What's the party that you have before a wedding?
Bridal shower? Wedding shower?
Yeah, wait. Oh, you mean like the rehearsal dinner?
Or was it a birthday? I don't remember, because this was...
Churba, there are very different occasions.
Yeah.
This was quite a few years ago.
Quite easily.
This was quite a few years ago, and I'll be honest, I ended up getting pretty blasted because a lot of these swimming people, like, they are very nice people, but we are not on the same wavelength.
Churba, look at my face. You see this expression of immense surprise?
It's very subtle, but it's there.
It's very, so anyways, about the media, I'm going to shamelessly steal a subject from Brady Heron and CGP Grey from their Hello Internet podcast, but they somewhat briefly in not the most recent, but the previous one episode brought up the parochialness of American news, and it sort of set me thinking that American news is very American-centric, and you might say, okay, that's pretty fair, but if you watch news coverage from, say, BBC World News, or NHK, or, other countries' news services, they talk about us and other countries around the world a lot more than American news talks about, well, really anything other than America.
There's a reason for that, obviously, because we're American. Yeah, America first, obviously.
But I mean, is that a little? Would you say that might be a bit damaging to Americans? That we are not regularly faced with the affairs of the world in which we live outside of our sea to shining sea borders?
Well, do you think Rome's news had a lot to do with everywhere that wasn't Rome, or do you think they just spent a lot of time thinking about Rome in Rome?
Well, the thing is that Rome news consisted, and I'm assuming you're talking about ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Consisted a lot of how a lot of places that aren't Rome are now Rome.
Yeah.
Churba, as the resident active journo, what is your thoughts on this?
Are there buffalo involved? Because there's a lot of roaming going on, and apparently we're meant to be looking forward to a home where the buffalo roam.
Okay. But
no, you're about to say, you should say, Churba, as a journalist who specializes in United States news from Australia, how do you feel about the focus on the United States in the United States?
It pays my rent. No, I don't really mind. I mean, I don't just focus on American politics, but it is just where I make most of my money because I'm better at covering it because I know all of these lovely Americans. I have resources that other people don't. I also cover Australian politics and UK politics and, blood and guts detail, so major disasters, military action, things like that.
Blood and guts detail, that's nasty.
Is Victor a robot to you, Scott?
Yeah, yes, he is. Victor is robot.
You were robot-y to me for a second there, too.
You're very robot. Actually, Churba's been coming in great the whole time.
Yeah.
This is when we remind everyone that Victor is on wireless.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are coming in just fine now, and
yeah, so are you.
That's good. Okay, good.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the focus. I mean, it would be better if the news in the United States was a little more world focused. But
yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, well, right now, you can't really blame us for being a little internally focused at this moment in time. I think we have a good reason to be very internally focused.
It's hard to not cover the garbage fire.
I don't know. I would say that it would be hard to say that you don't have a reason for being internally focused if you hadn't spent the preceding 3 decades pretty much just as internally focused.
Well, but before Trump took over, we were the policemen of the world. So I mean, we were all over the place. We were the lone for the last 2 decades, we were the world's lone superpower, right? You can't imagine that doesn't play a little bit on our egos and what we care about. It's all about us.
No, that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
The problem is that the American ego. American ego and exceptionalism is what is making you all ignorant of the fucking rest of the world.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, not all of us.
Here's the Yeah. So
Yeah,
here's
not
the
all
point
Americans
that CGP
hashtag.
Grey. Yeah. Here's the point that CGP Grey brought up. His argument was that
I'm fascinated to see where this goes
GDP.
because I've heard his fucking takes on politics before, and let's just
Yeah.
say they are not always good.
No, they're not. But here's his idea. So it comes down to impact. So if you want to look at a country, you want to look at a country. So why are we talking about what's going on in Turkey? Why aren't we talking about what's going on in Ukraine or in Zimbabwe or wherever? You look at how much impact the two countries' GDP has on each other. Two countries' economic impact has on each other. And the world over, the American economy and the American actions of America have a far and away greater impact on every other country than any other country's economic actions or just general actions has on the United States. And that was his argument. That was his rationale for why he himself was okay with the parochialness of American news. I don't know if
That is the most bullshit excuse I've ever fucking
heard. I know.
I'm like, okay, if you're concerned about
if you're concerned about the America-centrist centerism of American news, and you are thinking, and you're saying, okay, what's a reasoning for that? I can see where he's coming from on that, but I think that is just such a surface level way of looking at it.
That's a better example for why other countries would focus on the United States.
Yes, and that was his thing. His thing was like, other countries, we impact other countries so much, it makes sense that they focus on us.
No, but not the other
most other countries don't impact us.
It's a good thing I looked at the chat, because J Mance had the exact same idea I had, and if I'd have just said it before looking, I would have looked like a thieving asshole.
J Mance, for the record, says, I guess China doesn't exist then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By his own reasoning, Gray should probably ignore US news in favor of Chinese news and news about China.
Worth saying that CGP Grey, while an American citizen, is also an Irish citizen and lives in the UK. So, yeah, he lives in the UK. He has Irish citizenship.
No, I know he lives there, but I didn't think he had Irish citizenship.
He does.
I thought he had UK citizenship.
No, I'm reasonably sure on the Hello Internet podcast he said that he has dual citizenship with US and Ireland.
Probably. I mean, like, what's his name? He might have moved over. Wait, he can't have possibly moved over before the fucking Republic of Ireland, because he's like fucking 30. Wow, I catch myself saying some dumb fucking shit. Jesus Christ,
you
what
dodged
the
it
fuck?
by this much.
He's a dual. Jared says he's a dual U.S. Ireland citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got it from his parents.
What I was intending to say before I said something incredibly stupid was it is probably a fucking European Union deal, not a fucking Ireland reunification deal.
Yeah, no.
Because to be honest, I could stand having Irish reunification under one condition. That they split Northern Ireland away from the UK and it becomes a whole and separate island. Fucked.
So
that is not nearly as controversial for us as it is for perhaps some listeners in the UK.
What can I say? I'm a Republican through and through. And that is the only time you'll catch me saying that.
In a very limited context. Very limited context.
I mean, one could argue that that whole fact that we're so focused on ourselves is like a good reason why like Trump is elected.
Yeah, kind of exactly. Because other countries have figured this shit out. You know who elects people like Trump? People who don't really have elections, so to speak.
Or like people that don't understand like trade. They don't understand how the world economy actually functions, or like how
I meant other countries.
Yeah. But if you look at like the fact that we're trying to renegotiate NAFTA at the moment.
Well, are we? Are we? Who can say?
You haven't been reading about it?
No, it seems like he just keeps kicking. It seems like Trump comes out and says a gajillion things, and then they ultimately add up to, we're gonna let Congress deal with it when Congress deals with it.
Victor, you're not paying attention to the right stuff. Then you're focused too much on Trump. They are They are currently in negotiations.
We're back at the table on this.
We've been at the table for like a month or two at this point.
Have we?
And it's not going. It's not going well at all. Like it's getting real close to us just walking away from NAFTA, and mainly because tomato growers apparently in Florida are like really tired of getting cheap tomatoes. Meanwhile, every other agricultural good will be decimated in the U.S.
Man, like I can see why Trump feels such a kinship with these tomatoes. They're red. He's orange.
But we're currently really close to getting rid of.
Yeah, Jay Vance, I know we walked away from the TPP. I know that.
Yeah. Not to mention we've threatened our trade agreement with Japan, with South Korea, in the middle of a conflict with, an escalating tensions with North Korea. War? We decide to try to alienate our ally. South Korea. It's like, we're like super smart right now. We're very focused on our own agenda internally and not really thinking about what that will do to the rest of the world. Yeah. And meanwhile, Canada is waiting for us to withdraw from NAFTA, and they're going to make a bunch of free trade agreements with China. They're pretty much just like, we've made a bunch of side deals that if NAFTA goes away, we'll just we'll go to Canada.
Yeah.
We'll go to China. Yes, one of those.
Canada has got its own problems, notably to do with the native indigenous people.
And it's cold.
But it's Justin Trudeau is doing a very good job in working Canada towards a much stronger global position instead of just being America's hat. So.
And great hockey.
Also, here's an interesting fact. Australia and Canada, the Australian and Canadian dollars are currently almost at parity. It's something I never think about because obviously I don't really go and get that much Canadian currency on account of the fact that I can't fucking use it here.
You guys are domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
You're a robot. Well, actually, Churba's a robot now this time.
Churba was a robot, yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Oh,
there is one more thing. I'm not going to bother reaching out to Gray to make the argument of in that case, why don't you pay a fuck of a lot more attention to China? Because I just know, having listened to as much of the Hello Internet podcast as I could stand, that when confronted with this point, he would come up with a bullshit equivocation argument where it's just like, but, that's just excuses. Because it's not. Okay, now I am speaking directly to you, Gray. You need to look inward and realize it is literally just American exceptionalism and ego. It's not your fault. It's bred into US culture, mate.
It is.
But just accept it and deal with it, dude. It's okay.
You got the Australian. You got the Australian stamp of approval. That makes 2 Australians now that have told Gray he needs to consume more global news, and it's you.
I fully
Churba,
forget Brady's
and
Australian.
It's Brady Haran. It's Brady.
Not just that. 2 Australian journalists.
2 Australian journalists.
Because Brady used to be a journalist before he was a YouTube star.
Man, I don't even know the people you're talking about. I must be too old.
Brady Haran does number file and periodic.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
They're not on NPR.
CGP Gray. CGP Gray is an educational YouTuber who's a physics lecturer, I believe, in university somewhere in the Midlands of England, I think.
He was a physics lecturer. He went to YouTube full time.
Oh, I wasn't aware he'd stopped being a university lecturer.
Yeah.
Okay, ex-physics lecturer in that case.
Lecturer.
And Brady Haran, I don't know if he is actually, I'm pretty sure he's a full-time YouTube
He's full-time
dude.
YouTube now.
But he is an ex-Australian journalist who went on to become a different educational YouTuber.
From Adelaide.
Yeah. He is the
up,
most
right?
exciting thing to come out of Adelaide.
Except for hello internet listeners, the mighty Black Stump.
Yes. Oh, I'll tell you what, man. Like, there is... Okay, so, there is a place in Adelaide called Rundle Mall, and there's like maybe the one person from Adelaide who is listening to this is just going, oh fuck, not this shit again. But there's a place called Rundle Mall in Adelaide, and it has this sculpture which is just literally two big steel balls. It's colloquially known as the mall's balls.
Mm-hmm. And the mighty Black Stump is Grenfell Center.
Yes.
Yes.
And the mall's balls are talked about more than anything else in fucking Adelaide ever.
Are there a lot of Inhumans there?
I don't know. Adelaide is like a fucking memory black hole for me.
Sounds like Adelan, the home of the Inhumans.
Like, one of its nicknames is just Adeliorn.
Adel-
Like the joke.
Wow, really?
The joke is that if you want to time travel, you hop a flight to Adelaide. It hasn't moved past the 1980s yet.
Jesus.
Nice.
Hasn't moved past the 80s. Sounds like my kind of town.
Yeah. Who wants to go for some disco? Oh wait, the disco was like the 70s.
This goes to 70s, Cherbs.
Oh god.
I mean,
Oh,
I
man.
don't know
Disco's
how long
even
it
dead
took
in
for
Adelaide.
disco to get to Australia, but disco was the 70s.
Well, I'm pretty sure aren't the Bee Gees Australian?
I don't think so. Are they?
Bee Gees.
We're looking it up.
Yeah, we are. I might be confusing them with someone else.
The Bee Gees are not Australian.
No.
Barry Gibb.
Well, yes
Very
and no.
good.
They were
Isle
born
of
on the
Man.
Isle of Man,
Yeah.
but they started the band in Australia.
Yep, in Queensland. Redcliffe, Queensland, Australia.
Oh shit, that's like a 45-minute drive from here, and I can't imagine why you'd want to, because the whole place stinks of fucking cum and dead fish.
Jesus.
Jeez.
And with that rousing endorsement, we move on to the next topic.
Yeah, they should hire me for Tourism Queensland, yeah. Go to Redcliffe, it's not that bad.
You can be the supervising producer for if Queensland wants to make an anime promoting themselves.
Oh god.
I really wished
Actually, I probably
that promotional Canadian anime trailer was a trailer for a full-length anime. I would absolutely watch an anime about a Japanese couple making their way and doing a bunch of shit going through Canada on a vacation. I would absolutely watch that. Especially when they hit Quebec.
My dream show is just to, like, jump in a car and just go around doing all this stupid touristy shit in America, like the most gimmicky fucking tchotchke tourist trap shit where everyone's like, oh, don't go there, that's just where all the tourists go.
Well, Churba,
Go
when you
there
come-
and just have as much fun as possible.
Didn't they have that show already?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
called Stephen Fry.
Yeah,
Goes to
Stephen
America.
Fry goes to America. Yeah, Stephen Fry already did that.
Oh,
Well, Churba, you know what? When you get over here, we'll do a Kickstarter and raise funds for you and me to go do that.
how about we just pitch to, like, Discovery or something?
Well, sure, we can do that too.
Like, we could make a test episode just cruising LA.
Yeah. And have like a 5-minute segment where we are pointedly avoiding pointing the camera at the Hollywood sign.
No, we'll just not point at the Hollywood sign at all.
Well, that's it. That's the point. We're not pointing at the Hollywood sign because we can't.
And then at the last second, just like pan up and people see the white letters start to come into the background, and we'll actually just use After Effects to change it to penis. That is the kind of shaggy dog joke that I would enjoy. Like, oh yeah, we can't show the sign on TV. We can't show the sign on TV.
Sign.
And then when we finally show the sign, it just says penis.
All right, so next topic. So Google recently announced it's got these it's Google Home units, except it's got two new ones. It's got the Google Home Max thing, which is just a big ass fucking speaker with Google Home with Google Assistant built in. And it's got the little ones, which are like about $40-50. And they were giving some of them away at some event here in LA, and I was thinking about it. I saw this. I'm like, oh, geez, there's the Google Home one. There's the Amazon Alexa, Alexa Dot. There's Cortana on all of on all the Microsoft computers. There's Google on the smartphones. There's Bixby. There's this, that, the other thing. There's all these different AI assistant things. And let's not forget the one built into the Xboxes. There's that too. So we've got Alexa, Cortana, Google, Bixby, all that sort of stuff. And none of them are particularly good at communicating with each other. In fact, I think and Apple as well. None of these things, these AI assistants, communicate with each other. So unless you are entirely in one ecosystem, you've got these multiple Internet of Things, smart device, walled gardens in your home. And they don't play nice with each other, and obviously for commercial reasons that's the case. I mean, they want to have as much of you locked in as much as possible.
Yeah.
So should there be some sort of mandate, legislation, anything like that to basically say, hey, companies, you need to play nice, an enforcement of maybe some IEEE standard or something? Or should the market be the one to decide? That's kind of where I'm asking from at the moment.
Well, the market is pretty much always going to decide profit for us, yet fucked everything else.
Yeah. Do we even know what the rate of adoption of these devices in terms of like the standalone ones are?
Well, I can only speak anecdotally, but I know that my sister has a Amazon Alexa Dot.
It's true. It's true. I keep setting it off for my own amusement.
I use Bixby on my phone. It's very useful. I don't know why Churba was poo-pooing it, but it's very useful.
Because it's a fake butler, and I cannot stand fake butlers.
I use Cortana. I use Google Assistant. I know that I have a few friends that have the Google Home device. And I know a lot of tech people are liking the new Google little puck thing because it can be used as a distributed speaker system, apparently.
Yeah, but the speakers are rubbish.
Right, they're garbage. I don't understand why they'd want to use it, but that is why the new Google Max, the Maxi, whatever one it is, the big one.
It's like just one 50mm driver, man.
Yeah.
Like,
it's garbage.
My headphones, both these and the last set I had, are a fucking 55mm neodymium driver.
Yeah.
Like, neodymium, sorry. So it's like you're basically just getting a headphone, putting it on the table, and cranking it up to 11.
And then anybody who has an Xbox has it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it'll really depend on whether one device just ends up dominating and becomes, ubiquitous amongst all households. Ubiquitous.
Becomes
ubiquitous.
Ambiguous?
No, ubiquitous was what I was saying.
Ubiquitous.
Yes, ubiquitous. Anyway, point is.
Track marker?
Yeah.
Hey, like, if they actually did make a device that started dominating, I probably still wouldn't buy one because, let's face it, I like a human touch on my whip hand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally use any of them, so I don't have a real good.
That was a bit personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't use it. Oh man.
I mean, the upshot is that a lot of these devices seem to be interfacing with, if nothing else, if this then that, which can give them kind of proxy control over, say, the Philips Hue light bulbs, just to give an example, you know.
So are these do these devices actually get firmware updates, or are these all just ready to just hijack everything?
Yeah, they do get updates. Yeah, Churba, the new people in there is Star. Been a subscriber for the channel for a while. I gotta tell you a funny thing about subscribers in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they do get firmware updates. But then, yeah, that's the other thing. You bring up a good point. Some of these Internet of Things devices are very easily hijacked for botnets. So, if your light bulb didn't turn on
still. I wonder if Nelson's lights are still DDoSing people.
Yeah, so if your washing machine takes a little bit too long to get the cycle done, or if your lights don't turn on immediately, they may be trying to take down a website for Russia.
I'm just going to read my book by the glow of your smoking, smoldering load balancer.
That a Russian hacker tried to overclock and it popped.
But I mean, on a serious note, those devices, I mean, is it really any different than like your Apple phone not letting you buy anything really outside of like the Apple store?
No, I mean it isn't, and that's sort of the issue, then, isn't it? That, you know, we are getting this fractured home appliance environment, and they don't really play nice together. And I think that's a problem, isn't it?
Except for Android, which seems to play nice with just about everything.
Yes. But, you know, people are getting the Alexa Dot, which is nice and cheap. And I guess that was sort of the reason why the Google little guy came out.
The Google little guy.
Google little guy.
It's a tiny replica Sergey Brin. Actually, what's the other guy's name at Google again? The other top guy?
My brain is telling me Tim Cook, but that can't be right. That's Apple.
It's not Tim Cook. I can guarantee you it is also not Randy Probst, which is the first name I thought of. He's a racing driver.
Yes, he is.
I don't know why he has anything to do with it.
Yeah, Tim Cook
Larry
is
Page.
Apple.
Larry Page. Thanks, Brad.
Paging Larry Page. Paging Larry Page.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I was thinking of someone else, because there was like one of the
Brad.
big famous...
Brad, I haven't seen you in the chat in a while.
Yeah, because there's another one of the big famous tech CEOs that has also just been dinged for sexual assault. I just can't remember the guy's name, and the last time I saw him, he was wearing Google Glass. So I was like, Google guy, maybe.
Yeah. So is this just something I care about, or? Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, yeah. I mean,
be that way.
Like, I'll be honest, you seem to be very fond of devices that you can talk to, as if you can't just talk to other devices.
Look, I am very fond of being able to, like, in the car, just be like, you know, and I feel like I want to cover the microphone on my phone before I say this, but I know it's got like 5 of them, so I'm just gonna like squish it like this, you know, squish it. Like I want to be able to, like, when I'm driving, be able to say, you know, hey Bixby, send a text to my dad, and, you know, have it and I have to cover. And this is the world we live in. I have to cover my phone before I can before I can talk about it.
Hey, you know what I have that sends text for me while I'm driving?
Your fingers?
No, passengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't typically have passengers in my car most times.
I don't really text when I'm driving. Victor, is that a 9mm shell?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, it is.
Also, fucking, like... I'm just going to pretend that was a good guess.
Yes, it is.
Because I feel that it would be slightly creepy if I could identify brass on site like that.
Within seconds. Within seconds. Yeah, 9mm Luger shell. Casing, I guess. So, yeah. Okay, I guess this is only something I care about. Fantastic.
No, other people care about it.
No, I mean I care about it. I just
Just not you guys.
I don't particularly care at this moment about the question you posed about these devices.
You know what it is? I'm in an odd position here because on the one hand, grumble, why is our home technology environment so fractured and incommunicative? And then on the completely other end of the on the complete other end, grumble, all this vertical integration and integration of stuff is horrible. Why does Amazon, I don't like Amazon having their own shippers, shipping service.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't like that.
Man, back in my day, we had to come up with our own ships for fan fiction.
See, that is why I redirected that sentence mid-flow.
I know what I have to do now. Hold on.
You have to make Amazon's fan fiction? Is that what you have to do?
Oh, actually no. Let's see. Cortana, Alexa, fan fiction.
Oh my god.
There has to be. It has to exist.
No, my opinion on the subject will be completely...
I'm not going to say I found some immediately, but the second headline does say Cortana and Alexa are coming together.
Oh, God.
Oh my. Oh my.
My opinion my opinion will be solely based on whether Amazon decides to make its second headquarters in Philadelphia or not.
Oh yes, that's a thing.
If they pay me off, then I'll be okay.
Okay. Anywho, so we're rounding up close to the hour mark. So let's get on to the last. Oh God, Jay Bans has a spreadsheet about fan fiction. Oh no! Oh my God! What is this? Okay, I can't even parse this at the moment. Yeah. So just getting on to the issue. Just moving on to the last thing, we're gonna close out the show. We're gonna close out the show here with
where is that result coming up? Because I hit Control F and then typed in my own pseudonym, and I'm getting a result. So allow me to just check where that is coming up. Okay, no, it's all right. Never mind.
Oh, please let there not be fan fiction about the two of us.
No,
please, I hope not.
I say please, yes. Come on, fanfic authors. NaNoWriMo's coming up. 50,000 words.
Oh no!
Do it.
I think I might actually do NaNoWriMo this year.
Are you going to write Cortana or Alexa fanfiction, or have you moved on?
No, I'm
going
to finish writing that stupid...
ended with Cortana?
No,
Bixby is my friend now.
No, I'm gonna finish writing that. I'm gonna finish writing that fan. If Cortana actually worked properly on Android, I wouldn't even be considering using Bixby. But it doesn't. I have to hit a button to have Cortana listen to me on Android. It doesn't already have the listening just by voice. It's stupid. Yeah, but no, NaNoWriMo, I think I'm gonna finally finish writing that Steven Universe fan fiction I was supposed to write. The one about taxes.
Oh my God!
What? What?
That is a big fucking chart.
Oh no, I'm not even looking at that. I don't even care. I'm going away with that. Away, damn you. Anyways. So last thing to talk about on the show is our favorite portion. What has made you guys happy this week? Scojo,
I'll go first. Well, other than the default answer, my family.
Your lovely, your wonderful, adorable daughter, and
after
your lovely wife.
I had forgotten that they were making a new Star Control game, which I lit up Victor earlier while we were waiting for Churba to get on.
Oh boy, did you.
Talking about how Star Control 2 was my favorite game of my childhood. one of the greatest PC games of all time. Look it up. There's a free version, Star Control 2 or Quantum Masters. But they're putting out Star Control Origins, which is on Steam, the pre-order right now. And it's looking like it's very much in the vein of Star Control 2 and not Star Control 3, which was a disaster. So I'm really looking forward to playing that game. It has Space Melee again, and it has network capabilities, so I can play like me and Scott Rubin, instead of crowding around one keyboard, playing Space Melee on a keyboard, we'll be able to play on the internet. And yeah, it's probably the best Star Trek. Yeah, like somebody just said that I wrote, the best Star Trek-like game for the PC.
The best Star Trek fan fiction.
Yeah, well, it is. It is very much like a fan fiction. I mean, it has crazy races, has really funny humor. It's got some drama. It's got exploration. It's pretty much everything you want in a game, but from 1992. Well, the original one. The new one's coming out in like a couple months. So yeah.
Churba, what about you?
What?
What are you quacking at me about? You knew that you have to do this. Come on.
Yes, I know, but I'm a journalist. I don't get to be happy. All right, no. Let's be serious. Let's not be serious. We're never serious.
We've never been. Why start now?
Let's see. Star Trek Discovery is fucking great. I haven't been watching the Orville, but I'll get around to that because it's just not available on any of the legal streaming services, and I've just been too lazy to pirate it. Well, down here. In the States, fine. Over here,
no.
Let's see. We were playing Doki Doki Literature Club the other day, and that is definitely a fun and cute visual novel so far that we are enjoying making fun of. Yeah.
Yeah. The protagonist is an asshole.
Oh, he is such a fucking blazing knobhole.
Brings disgrace upon the name Guy G. Gardner.
Me and Jay Mance were talking about that the other day, and we have decided that Guy G. Gardner is basically just a Time Lord, except instead of going around fixing things, he's just fucking everyone's life up. It's like,
if anybody out there wants to write Guy G. Gardner fan fiction, go right on ahead. Wait, didn't we name him
let's
Barry?
See. We did at one point.
Yeah.
I think that was the giant robot one.
You know what it was? It was Barry G. Gardner. That's what it was.
He's changing his name so he doesn't get prosecuted for his crimes.
There you go. Oh, that's what it was. Barry
and
G.
also,
Gardner.
my dog
go back
continues.
And change that.
My dog continues to be my dog, which is adorable.
Yep.
And of course, PAX is coming up. I won't be on the show next week because I'll be at PAX doing Enforcer stuff.
Paxing.
And
maybe that'd be the good time then to for me to get Vega and Aaron and a couple of other Love Live people on to talk about Love Live.
Yes, probably.
Probably.
And yes, I will also be drinking a probably obscene amount with Prad and Dimitri and possibly Heidi, a new inductee to the Paxos crew.
Oh my.
And yes, last year.
What the hell is that?
Victor, the camera's pointed at you.
No, yeah, I don't know what the hell was that. There was like a series of very large, very rapid explosions outside. What the hell?
Okay. Maybe we should do the ending preamble.
Right, it's probably fireworks, but weird. Anyways, so the thing that's making me happy this week
are apparently not fireworks.
Yeah, it's weird. I got a reel-to-reel. Yeah, that's definitely fireworks. I did.
We've seen
I got a reel-to-reel. It's right there, and a bunch of tapes in this cardboard box over here, for free.
Nice.
For free.
You didn't mention you got it for free.
Yeah, I got it for free. It's great. And additionally, I am working on designing a product. I went camping a couple of weeks ago, and I brought my big ass battery pack, which is basically consists of a giant ass battery and some cigarette lighter sockets to put car chargers in.
Giant ass battery, huh?
It is a giant ass battery. And people there were like, how much did that cost to make you? I'm like, probably about $70 ish. They're like, oh, we would easily pay $100 for that. I'm like, would you like me to put together a price quote for parts and labor? And they're like, yes. So,
okay. I got bad news for you, dude.
what's up?
Oh wait, never mind. I don't have bad news for you. Anker, you know, the company that makes the giant batteries that you plug your phone into and shit.
Yeah.
They kind of beat you to it.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure they have it much more price efficient, but I'm gonna put together the price sheet and quote together for that too. I'm gonna make it out of wood and stain it and make nice little metal, brass metal plates for labels and stuff. So make it all artisanal, as it
To be
were.
honest, if the Anker powerhouse wasn't $500 fucking for a giant battery, I would consider fucking getting it.
Yeah, I think I'm only gonna charge about like 120.
Because
Oh.
for $500, I can get a pretty good, decently efficient gen set. Which means that I won't need a giant battery because I'll be able to generate power.
There you go. And then one last thing that's making me happy. It was my birthday this week.
It was, yes.
It was. I still haven't done anything for my birthday, but I'm putting my bike together, which is,
Oh, that's
nice.
good.
Yeah, I gotta make it all nice and proper like this time. I'm gonna centrally mount the battery inside in the gap in the frame. And that's about it. All right, so so that fireworks don't keep on happening in the recording. Good night, everybody.
Good night. And also good night from Scott.
Oh, before actually good night here. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. What for providing the money for making this channel chooch. Thank you too, because I keep on forgetting to update it in the actual clip I stick into the recording. Just decided to start doing it live and in the thing. Damn it, load up OBS. You have the most recent list in there. All right, thank you to Kate Macross, Rochelle Mantanona, Geek Nights Podcast, Funeral Cleavage, Dexter Calder, George Davidson, Brendan Brothers, Justin Chapman, Cold Guy, Ethan Fryer, Pinup Citizen, Gina Moreno, and Yaddle. Because it's just fun to say it like that. Thank you to all of you for throwing a little money into the hat each month. We really do appreciate it. All right, good night.
Good night.